If you wouldn't mind commenting, liking, and subscribing, I would appreciate it. Help grow the channel. Alright, today we're gonna do a 5-year review of the 2020, well actually no, April of 2020, so no, a 6-year review of the 2020 Diamond Cargo. It's a 14 by 8.5 foot. It is filthy because it's been sitting on the side of the garage. And yeah, so there's a quick walk around of it. The Vinos. It has a few upgrades on it. As you can see, it's still the original paint from when I picked it up. That's the lot number. When you have to go find your trailer, that's the number that they give you. So I guess we'll start with the outside. A lot of people complain about their screws coming out. I haven't had any issues with any of my screws coming out or on the door. None of the panels. It's not like a seamless look, but they do only screw two sides of the panel, so it's not every 16 inches. That is one thing that I did do, is I live in the snow rust belt, so I did go with 16 on center instead of the 22, I think is the normal. You know, none of this has been painted. This is all from the factory, the black on the bottom. And again, not missing any screws. I mean, there's a few dings in it. I honestly don't even know how that one happened. I noticed that this summer or this spring, and that kind of pissed me off, but whatever. So yeah, not missing any screws. I don't have any loose, none popping out. All the LED lights still work. So as far as the upgrades when I bought it, I went with the vent on both sides that are closable instead of the black plastic one that's always open. I went with the black spoke rims instead of the gray. I was going to do all the black trim, but the guy that ordered it said that they've had bad luck with it chipping off, so he recommended against it. So I didn't do that. I'm trying to think what other upgrades I did. Well, the other upgrades I think are on the inside. There's the other vent that opens, and it opens either way. Yeah, the only thing on the outside that was an issue is there's like this dent here, and I'm not sure what is in there. I really think that it's just the panel itself wasn't put on very well, but it hasn't gotten any worse. There was a lot of comments. I was reading the video from 6 years ago about somebody's did this and it bulged out and the roof fell in and the sky fell down, but yeah, it's been like that. Not a big deal. Didn't really bother me that much for what I mean. I paid $4,200 for this trailer, tax and everything right out the door, for a 14 by 8.5 foot V-nose enclosed trailer. And back then was a phenomenal deal. And that's with the upgrades. That's with the rim upgrade, that's with the vent upgrade. I did the center vent in the roof. I did the 12 on center studs, and I did what else did I do? Oh, the E-track on the floor. Yeah, and then I added these because this gets bumped and dents, so I got some aluminum from Lowe's and stuck that on there. I think it looks better than this being all dented up. You got your grease fittings on all of those hinges. These are Lippert axles. These are original brakes on here. I do a service every year. I know it looks disgusting. It's been sitting in my driveway over there, but no issues with these. They still have at least half their life left on them. And then just to go kind of up underneath here, I mean, it's got, you know, it's a little bit of surface rust for being 6 years old and being parked on stones, but you can see all the wood is in great shape. You got the extra blocking down there, the Lippert drop axles. And, I mean, I could have thrown a coat of paint on all of this, I guess, when I bought the trailer, but this is all original underneath here. I mean, a lot of this is just the dirt from it sitting. A little bit of rust, but all of the wood is still in excellent shape. It's not soft. Yeah, so I bought this for my landscape business. It's seen 3 years of 3 days a week being pulled with my lawnmowers in it, and then I got into hotshot trucking, so now it acts as my shed and I use it for camping. So we set up like a queen size bed in it and like a couch and a table, and we put a floor in it, and it's freaking awesome for camping because we camp up in the Adirondacks. You don't need air conditioning. Believe it or not, in July you need heat. So yeah, as far as things to watch out for, oh that's right, and I did the reverse light package. That was an upgrade too. I did actually the dual brake lights and the reverse light, because they just come standard with one brake light, no reverse light. So I did the 2 brake lights and the reverse light as an upgrade. Now once I got this, my brother used to sell cars that passed away. He started bringing these up out of Georgia and selling them up here. The one thing I will say is the people that got the extended height, they didn't put bigger bars on it, and I don't know if they got a batch of bad Chinese bars or something, but they still put them down here, and then there was the extra 1.5 feet up top, so the door going like this would bend these out, and then there'd be a good inch or so gap here. So I don't know if it's because they didn't move these up or they didn't get tall enough bars, but on the taller ones, one thing that I did see is these bars bend out and the door gets a good 1.5 inches or 2 inches of play at the top where it's slamming. But I didn't have that issue with these bars, but obviously, like I said, it's not the extended height. The extended height trailer. Let's see, I went with, oh, that was the other upgrade. I went with the RV style door, and I added this because this doesn't come on it when you get the door. It's just the handle, locking handle. So I did the locking bar as well, so that was another upgrade I added to it. And I didn't do any windows. I wanted to put a window in this one, and I wanted like a window like here maybe, or like here. And again, the guy that I ordered it from said he's had nothing but bad luck with them installing windows and leaking, so he would recommend not putting a window in it. So I mean, if you don't know, the way it works with a Diamond Cargo is like you sign up to be a, like, basically a broker for them, and the $300 deposit you put down on the trailer is the $300 that the person selling you the trailer and putting the order together gets for selling them. And then when you go pick the trailer up, you go into the office, you give them the rest of the money, and then they'll have somebody go and pull your trailer around. They give you all the paperwork, your certificate of origin for the DMV, and then temporary plate. I think it's like a 30-day or 60-day plate, so you could get it home. And yeah, so the trailer was actually only $3,900, and then $300 to the broker for the fee of putting in the order. But either way, so he had nothing to gain or nothing to lose by telling me, you know, not to go with the black trim, not to add the window. So we listened to him. The tires that were on it were like a Shurin or a Sure. The spare in there is still that tire that came on these. I switched to these Freestars, which are phenomenal tires too, last year. Not because the other tires were bald, but because they were 5 years old. So the tires that came on here were mint. I had no issues with them. Like I said, from March till like mid-November, this trailer got pulled 3 times a week, all day, from property to property around town with 3 lawnmowers in it. But these Freestars are pretty dang nice too, and they're pretty cheap. I've had these before. These came on the dump trailer. They were the M110s, not the 108s, but either way. And then I put the GM valve stems on here so my truck can show me on the display the pressure and temperature of these tires as well, which is pretty cool if you get that tow package on there. But yeah, I have had 0 leaks. That could be clean. It's pretty gross up there, but I've had no leaks with it. So the roof is good, and it's aluminum. There's not that rubber roofing like I've seen some of the trailers where that rubber membrane comes loose and they're going down the road and it's like a big bubble. So yeah, so it's that, and then underneath it is like a thin layer of like almost kind of like insulation. But yeah, let me get the doors open up and we'll walk around the inside. And just for context, real quick, as far as the mowers that I kept in here to show that they weren't just little homeowner lawnmowers, here's the 61 Ferris. I also had a 36-inch single drive that went up in the front. All right, so here we are with the trailer opened up on the inside. This is all still the original paint from when I first got the trailer. This piano hinge held up good, except for the teeny tiny screws they use. It started ripping out, so I did reinforce it with some extra screws. And then this here is just for me catching it with the lawnmower, so I've had to straighten that out a few times and stick some screws into that. But so that wasn't an issue with the trailer, that was a me issue. As far as the tailgate goes, I've had no issues with it. It's solid. I mean, the caulking crap that they put in there has all started to come out of it. But I mean, the seams are still solid in it. There's no bowing in the floor. Like I see like those people that use it like marine wet stuff. I've seen these trailers so many times where they're bowed from the lawnmowers constantly going in and out of them. You can clearly see where my tracks are, and there's no bowing there. It does come with the 4 tie downs, 1 in each corner. I added the E-track. That was another upgrade. So this is how I would tie the mowers down. And really anything else I put in here right to the floor, which has been awesome. And then I put this foam down in here for when we're using it as a camper. I added E-track here and singles here, so I had a string trimmer here, the E-track over there. I had backpack blower, so that's what was all along that wall. And again, this supported 3 steel backpack blowers. I had a 350, a 550, and a 600 all hung on that wall with no issues. And then over here was Shindawa 242 and a 262, I believe, hung from over here with no issues. And then that one up there I stuck there because that's where I put my rain suit. Yeah, so I did throw some insulation up in the ceiling last year. I know it's like it's coming down because it's cold. I did it when it was hot, so everything was expanded, and this all fit in here like perfectly snug. But there's certain spots that are falling down now, so not to get off topic, but what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to get it back up in here, and then I'm just going to run a couple strips right down the middle to hold it up, and then I'm going to put like a piece of trim up here to hold that up, because I stuffed insulation down in the walls. I stuffed the insulation up in there, and what a difference this makes, just the insulation camping in the fall. But anyways, but yeah, so the floor was the Valspar deck paint. It's held up great. That's all the original black paint on the wheel wells. None of that's rusted or no issues with that. The inside of it's sealed up awesome. Like, you can come in here at night and close all the doors and you don't see any light gap or light penetrating. This was the other upgrade that I did, was the vent. This is, you really want this if you're using it for a landscape trailer, just to get that hot air out, especially if the trailer's sitting baking in the sun while you're cutting a big property, but also for camping too. Like, that's the other reason why I got this that vent there. And the same thing with the ones that are behind the turkey fryer there. So when you're going down the road, you have that one opened up, grabbing the air. You have that one open this way, so the air just comes straight across, and it actually stays really cool in here. And you can see, I'll show you this gray, see if it's picking that up, the gray backing here, that's like a thin foam membrane that they put down before they put the ceiling on it. So there is like a little kind of like insulation-ness in there, which actually works out mint. So it's a little bit quieter in here. And yeah, so this is literally turned into my storage shed now. Let's see. Oh, the other thing that sucks about it is this light. It's not hooked up to the 12 volt. They just tie it into your running lights. So the only way this light works is if it's plugged into your truck, the truck is on, and the lights are on the truck. Otherwise this won't work. So you have to have your running lights on. But that light is actually pretty bright. So let's see what else. Yeah, all that's held up great. Like I said, it's filthy. Needs to be cleaned out, but I mean, I painted this when I first got it. I primed and painted it, and I'm thinking before I go camping again, I'm probably going to freshen it up. But yeah, so this is the 6-year review of how it's held up, how the floor's held up, and the rest of it. I've got no complaints with it. But I mean, when I went to buy this trailer, I watched so many horror story videos that if I ended up having to walk away down $300, oh well. So we made a checklist. I brought a ladder with me, clipboard, piece of paper, and a pen, and cardboard, and I had the wife with the checklist, and she just went right down it, and she'd say this, and I'd walk around the trailer, check it. There was a couple issues. A couple of the lights didn't work because of the way they're grounded, which sucks because they're single wire lights. So the ground is the screw, and there's like a little tab in here that has to touch this, and the screw has to go into the frame. So sometimes you have to loosen and tighten a screw to get the ground back on it. So that was the one issue, and I'm trying to think what the other issue was. I think that was about it. The brakes didn't come adjusted very well at all. So the guy told me you have to like put it on 10 and keep like hitting the brakes for a few miles. We couldn't really get anything out of it the whole way home from Georgia to New York. I mean, it was there a little bit, like you could feel it, but an empty trailer should have been locking them up. So I did, once I got home, I did have to adjust the brakes on it. And that was probably about it. And then, oh, that's the other thing we do when we go camping. I bought one of those screen like doors with the magnets in the middle. So we just attach it to this, and then we got our screen door, and that's the step that I put out there, so we got to step into it. But yeah, and then we use this as our handrail for getting in and out, and it's also perfect for hanging stuff off of it because we do like the kitchen right here, and I set up an awning. But anyways, yeah, so that's the floor, that's the walls, the ceiling, no leaks. I mean, you would see this being the original paint in here from when I got it 6 years ago. You would see the water damage and the bowing, because this isn't very sturdy. It's not very thick wood. I mean, it's not balsa wood, but yeah. So, and the nice part about this is they're all screws. So you could just take these right off of here if you want to do insulation or whatever. And I mean, these have a few staples in it. But the 6-year review of the Diamond Cargo storage unit. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything you've seen that I didn't cover and you wanted to know something about it, then go ahead and drop a comment down below, and I always read the comments, so I will do my best to answer the question for you. Thanks for watching.